Hi everyone, this is Laudia Saujanya from 2nd BZC. Now I am going to tell you seminar on the topic of menstrual cycle. The term menstrual cycle technically refers to the cyclical changes that occurs in sexually mature, non-pregnant females and culminates in menses. Typically, the menstrual cycle is about 28 days long, although it can be as short as 18 days in some women and as long as 40 days in others. The term menses is derived from a Latin word meaning month. It is a period of mild hemorrhage which occurs approximately once each month, during which the uterine epithelium is sloughed and expelled from the uterus. Menstruation is a discharge of blood and elements of the uterine mucous membrane. Here we have a diagram about explaining the menstrual cycle. First, in this diagram, two hormones are released. They are FSH and LH. These two hormones are released by the anterior pituitary lobe. In this, FSH and LH. FSH in the sense follicle stimulating hormone and LH in the sense luteinizing hormone. These hormones are released in the proliferative phase. In the proliferative phase, in the sense, the menstrual cycle has three phases. They are proliferative, luteal secretory, or menstrual or bleeding phase. In this diagram, follicle stimulating hormone FSH indicates the black line and luteinizing hormone indicates the blue line. In this, FSH stimulates the growth of the selected primary ovarian follicle and maturation of the primary oocyte. In this follicle, the matured ovarian follicle containing oocyte is called Graafian follicle. The FSH also stimulates the Graafian follicle to secrete estradiol, a female sex hormone. The estradiol, on attaining a certain concentration in the blood, inhibits the secretion of FSH and stimulates the secretion of luteinizing hormone from the anterior pituitary. The luteinizing hormone induces the mature Graafian follicle to burst and eject its eggs into the fallopian tube. This is called ovulation. Ovulation, in the sense the ovary comes out after the menstruation, is called ovulation. The estradiol also stimulates the uterus to prepare for the implantation and nourishment of the fetus. Estradiol is a female sex hormone, right? So it's also helpful for the implantation and nourishment of the fetus. Likely to arrive after ovulation. The wall of the uterus. The uterine wall have three walls. Uterine has three walls, that is perimetrium, myometrium and endometrium. In these three walls, myometrium and endometrium progressively become thick. Vascularization of the uterus increases and the blood vessels in endometrium become long and coiled. Glycogen and fat accumulate in the endometrial cells glands, develop which secrete a nutritive fluid into the uterine cavity. And next we observe the diagram. We have ovarian hormones. Ovary also releases some hormones, female sex hormones, that are estrogen and progesterone. In this, estrogen is also called estradiol and it converts into estrone and estrogen. In this, estrogen is helpful for the releasing of hormone or is found in the uterine and placenta. Estradiol and estrone are interconvertibles. That is, estradiol is converted into estrone and estrone is converted into estradiol. Estrogen also, it stimulates the female reproductive tract to grow the full size and become functional. And estrogen also stimulates the differentiation of ova, in the sense oogenesis, formation of ovum in the ovary. They also stimulate the development of secondary sexual characters such as enlargement of breast and broadening of pelvis, growth of pubic and axillary hair. Progesterone is also secreted by corpus luteum. It is a steroid hormone. Its hormone suspends ovulation during pregnancy, fixes the fetus to the uterine wall, forms placenta and controls the development of the fetus in the uterus, that is ovulation. Formation of corpus luteum and secretion of progesterone are stimulated by luteinizing hormone from the anterior pituitary. If we observe this diagram, we have uterine endometrium, which is a uterine wall of three. In these three walls, endometrium is also one of the wall. This wall thickens during menstruation or when pregnancy confirmed. Then also this wall is thickened. In this, we observe ovary when it released, then it undergoes some recruitments and selections and a follicle is formed. This follicle undergo dominance and it undergoes ovulation. The ovulation takes place on the 16th day of the menstrual cycle. After this, the ovary released, it undergoes some changes or mitotic divisions and forms corpus luteum. And this corpus luteum forms corpus albicans. These corpus albicans are released or discharged as a white matter. And now we have three phases in the menstruation. First phase is the proliferative phase, second phase is the secretory phase, and third phase is the menstruation. First is the proliferative phase. Proliferative phase starts at the end of menstrual phase. Its duration is about 10 to 14 days. At the beginning of this phase, most of the endometrium has been desquamated. Desquamated in the sense decreased or thickened. Thin. It's desquamated in the sense thin. The endometrial wall becomes thin. Then later, endometrium starts healing and then proliferates rapidly from 5th to 14th day of the menstrual cycle. I have already told you in the diagram that the endometrial wall is thin. So the endometrium itself starts healing and proliferates, in the sense increases rapidly from 5th to 14th day of the menstrual cycle. And this proliferation occurs under the influence of estrogen. There is growth of simple tubular glands and blood vessels. The proliferation, in the sense increasing of the endometrial wall, occurs in the influence of estrogen. So endometrium increases in thickness to about 3 to 5 millimeters. The endometrial glands produce a thick mucus. At the end of proliferative phase, ovulation occurs. Ovulation occurs in the sense ovary released. So this is the end of the proliferative phase. After proliferative phase, we have secretory phase or luteal. It is also called luteal phase. This phase lasts for about 10 days. It starts 10 to 14 days. It starts after ovulation and extends up to the next menstrual phase. It starts after ovulation. In the sense, in the proliferative phase, we have seen the end of the phase is ovulation. So after that, secretory phase is started. So ovulation has been ended. And it extends up to the next menstrual phase. Next menstrual phase, in the sense, if we have the menses this month on the 5th and next month 5th. So next month until the next month 5th it extends. In these also, endometrium thickens up to 6 millimeters. The glands become tortuous and filled with the secretions. Glands become bigger, and tortuous means the glands become strong. They become strong. Why they are strong? Because they have to bear some secretions into them. So they are strong. And the stromal cells proliferate, spiral arteries become more coiled and dilated. Stromal cells are abundant in our body. So they are present everywhere in our body. In these, for example, uterine mucosa, prostate, bone marrow, lymph node, and ovary. So these stromal cells are abundant. So spiral arteries become more coiled and dilated. And this is caused due to the action of progesterone and estrogen on uterine endometrium. After this secretory phase, we have menstrual phase. This menstrual phase lasts for about 3 to 5 days. If the ovum is not fertilized, corpus luteum regresses from 24th day of the cycle. Regresses in the sense it reconverts or come back to its position. If the ovum is not fertilized, then only the corpus luteum is regresses. This causes a decrease in estrogen and progesterone levels. It results in shrinkage of endometrium, coiling of spasm of arteries, leading to focal necrosis of the endometrium. Focal necrosis in the sense death of hepatocytes or death of some cells. So it forms a death of some cells of the endometrium. So the flow is released or some discharge, some secretions are released. The necrosed endometrium is shed along with blood and other secretions. Necrosed endometrium in the sense, the necrosed in the sense death. Some endometrium is a wall, right? So it should be death. The cells, if the cells are dead in that endometrium, the endometrium will be death. So when the endometrium is dead, it also shed with the along with the blood. When the menses is formed, some secretions, we have secretions, right? So in the secretions, the endometrium also comes along with the blood and other wastages also comes. And menstruation, periodic discharge of blood and cellular debris from female genital tract is termed menstruation. As you all know this, cyclical changes occur from one menstruation to the next, compromises a menstrual cycle. Cyclical changes, you know that. Cyclical changes in the sense the changes. First is a proliferative phase, second is a secretory phase, and third is a menstrual phase. This is a cycle. So for every month it is formed. In this process or in this menstrual flow, women lost so much of blood. In the sense they lost total blood for a normal menstrual cycle or for a one menstrual cycle they lost 50 to 400 ml of blood. Menstrual bleeding occurs only on the failure of pregnancy. If the ovum is fertilized, then this menstruation will not occur. So when it occurs, only the failure of pregnancy, then only the menstruation occurs. And some of the physiologists says that uterus weeps due to the disappointment and the weeping is swept out as a menstrual flow. Uterus weeps, weeping in the sense crying. Uterus cries due to some disappointments. So this weeping is out as a menstrual flow. This weeping is out as a menstrual. When we cry, we have some tears, right? So when we got tears, the tears are comes out from our eyes. So when these uterus also get disappointed in the sense cries, weeping in the sense cries. So these tears are comes out as a menstrual flow. Menstrual flow in the sense bleeding. During this menstrual flow, woman body undergoes some changes. The changes are increase in breast size and increase in the vaginal and cervix, and some body fluids also secreted by our body, and basal body temperature is also increased, or in some members the body temperature will be decreased. So these are the changes when we observe during the menstrual flow. Thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity, ma'am.